Okay, you have the Lions record prediction. So Lions, I think it did get better, both offense and defense. Though I think it might take a little bit for them to come together since they have a bunch of young guys. I like Dan Campbell, and I think they'll do better this year. With your first game versus the Eagles, I think they're just way too talented right now. Their offense and defensive line, I think, will cause too much trouble for Lions. Like I said, Lions still a very young team, so I'm gonna take the Eagles. Week two versus the Commanders. Commanders have a very good defensive line, which I think will cause problems. But Lions have home field advantage, and Jared Goff played better as the season ended, and it's going to be close. I just think that the Lions are going to pull off a win. Then you have a game versus the Vikings. The Vikings divisional rivals was really hard to predict, but the Vikings they did get a new coach, but they still have so much talent. Like Justin Jefferson and Thielen, Dalvin Cook, and the defense, they still have some stars players. And like I said, Lions also got better this offseason, but it's the divisional rivals. First game, Vikings at home field advantage to make them. Then you have a game versus Seattle. Seattle's either starting Drew Lock or Geno Smith, both not good options, and they have a very bad defense. I think Jared Goff, DeAndre Swift, TJ Hawkinson will have a better game versus them. And offensively, I think it's going to be a more high scoring game. DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett may cause problems for that Lions defense. But I think Lions are going to overcome that with home field advantage. Seahawks have to travel a long way, so I'm going to take the Lions. Then you have a game versus the Patriots. They have a very solid defense, and Bill Belichick is always good. And I think the defense can be too much for that Detroit's offense to overcome, even though the Patriots did lose some pieces. And defensively, I'm not sure how much the Lions defense can hold, but I don't think they can carry. So I think the Patriots. Then you have a bye, and then you have a week 7 versus the Cowboys. Cowboys, they do have a lot of talent like Zeke, CeeDee Lamb, and defense. They still have Diggs, but they always lose that one game to a bad team. And since the Lions are coming off a bye and has potential, I'm gonna call the upset out of the Lions beating the Cowboys. Then you have a game against the Dolphins. This one could also be another trap game for the Dolphins. They have to travel a long way to Detroit, and the Dolphins blitz heavy defense may cause problems for Goff, or he can do better. But I think the Dolphins' offense with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle will be too much for the Lions to handle. So I'm gonna take the Dolphins. Then you have a game against the Packers. Packers, Super Bowl contending team right now. They still have Aaron Rodgers, but they lost Devontae Adams. I think this is going to be a very close divisional game. First game, but to me, the Packers defense will determine the win, and I don't think the Lions offense will be enough to get through the Packers defense. So I take the Packers. Then you have a game versus the Bears. The Bears are probably the least talented team in the NFL, but it is a divisional game, so hard to see. Bears just don't really have a lot of talent right now. The defense, they did lose Khalil Mack and and Akeem Hicks, and offensively they didn't get Justin Fields any weapons. While the Lions improved during the offseason, so I'm gonna take the Lions in the first game. Then you have a game versus the Giants. This one's gonna be close for me. The Giants have home field advantage and a good interior defensive line, which I think may cause problems for Goff. But Giants' offense is not the best. But the Lions' defense isn't the best either. It's gonna be close, but I'm gonna take the Giants because of home field advantage. Then you have a game versus the Bills. The Bills, they're Super Bowl contender. It is a Thursday night game, so I think this one's gonna be close. But to me, Josh Allen and the Bills' entire offense and defense will be too much to overcome, so I'm gonna take them. Then you have a game versus Jacksonville. Jacksonville has to travel a long way, so Detroit has a huge home field advantage. They did improve similar to they improved more during free agency, getting Christian Kirk, the linebacker, and drafting a couple other linebackers. But Lions have home field advantage, and they're both rebuilding teams. But I'm gonna take the Lions, and I like the coach better. And Week 14 versus the Vikings split with the Lions last year, and I see that happening again this year. It's a divisional game, hard to predict, but I feel like Vikings are gonna split, so I'm gonna take the Lions. Then you have a Week 15 versus the Jets. Zach Wilson will still be playing, and they did improve a lot during the draft, getting Jonathan and Sauce Gardner. And to me, similar to the Giants game, I think the home field advantage will be too much for the Lions to overcome, so I'm gonna take them. And you have another really long road game against the Panthers. Panthers defense is young. I think will cause problems for the Lions, and they'll have to go all the way south to Carolina. And I think that's going to be too much. And the Carolina offense, they got Baker Mayfield now, who may do well. So I'm gonna take the Panthers. Then you have a game against the Bears. Like I said, divisional rivals are always hard to predict, and I think the Bears and Lions are going to split. So I'm gonna take the Bears. Then you have a Week 18 versus the Packers. Packers may be looking for a number 1 seed, but I'm not sure. And like I said, divisional rivals are always hard to predict, and Detroit always plays the Packers tough. So I'm gonna take the Lions splitting with the Packers. So Indianapolis Lions go 7-10, 3 during division, 4-5 at home, and 3-5 away.